Discussing the latest in employment law, it's the Employment Huddle podcast with Guy Allen and Samantha Turetsky.
Welcome, everyone, to the premiere edition of the Employment Huddle podcast on video. I was never sure we were going to get here, but listen, our audio was growing like crazy, and we listened to our fans, and they want to see us in person, Samantha. So that's what we did. We went video. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Spring's coming.
I know.
Of the lightness, walking out. It's not dark out. It's much better.
I know. It's definitely getting towards the good part of the year.
Right. It's like nothing's worse than walking out at like 4:30 and being pitch black out. Right.
I know. It's like when you leave the office, no matter what time it is, and it's still light out. There's no better feeling than that.
No better. It's like, oh my God, that's so good, so good. So that automatically puts me in a good mood.
Me too.
Automatically. And now, even doing this premiere video, I mean, people are gonna remember where they were when they watched this. Just like in the O.J. Simpson verdict, really important events in history.
This is one of them.
They're gonna remember where they were. That was the premiere edition of the Employment Huddle podcast. That's what I think.
I think you're right.
It happened, right? So with that being said, I think we should roll. I think we should get into some. Now, what are we talking about? Actually, this is like completely unscripted, right? We don't know. It's like we walk in day at the office. We don't know what's going. What do you talk about? Let's go.
Okay, so the other day I came in a little crazed, which I usually do, but this is more so.
Shocker.
I was listening to a podcast, and it was kind of a podcast where someone, like a listener, will call in and the person will answer their question. And the woman on the phone had a question about her new job. She has a new job that she absolutely loves, but when she started, she realized that her company is full of huggers. And so it's almost like the office culture where everyone hugs hello and goodbye every single day at work. And she's not a hugger, and she was really stressed out about what to do because she can't take it anymore. And she doesn't want to quit because she loves her job, but she can't keep hugging all of her coworkers. Like, it just does not work for her. And part of me was horrified, and part of me was cracking up because it's such a funny situation.
It is. So it is. When I give my seminars or talks about sexual harassment, hugging is something that we actually talk about. That you do have huggers in your office, not some more than others, but the question of how is that okay, and how much and how little and all that. So it is issue. This is not the first time that I've heard someone uncomfortable. The way someone's greeted in the office, which is
right.
Unfortunate. It's not like anyone's usually anyway. Like in some nefarious intent, by going around hugging everybody. Hopefully, but it's you may make. Some people are huggers, some not. My wife is not a hugger. I come home I'm lucky to get a peck on the cheek. I'm a hugger. I like to go home. Sometimes you gotta be careful, right?
Right.
Same thing at the office. It's unfortunately at the office though, it goes like things like this where it's just getting to the point where almost anything you do, and people always ask me, can we do anything at work anymore? Can we do anything that's not viewed as positively creating liability, for a company? Because clearly, hugging and touching and too much of that stuff is a form of sexual harassment. It just is. So,
right. So for this woman, she didn't feel like she was being sexually harassed or anything like that, but she's not a hugger, so it made her uncomfortable. And it's the office culture that everyone hugs.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
She made it a point to say that HR, when she started, said hugging is part of the sexual harassment training, just like you're mentioning.
Right.
But somehow it's part of their culture, and she just didn't know what to do. How do you nicely tell everyone, please don't hug me?
The whole company, yeah, don't hug me. I mean, I'll take a handshake, maybe. That's the other thing, right? What is the right protocol, like in an office, whatever, like handshake, hug, nothing, like just stick. Something that's weird. It's weird to stick out your hand or sometimes.
You can't do that every day,
right?
Give everyone a handshake.
No. I want to do some cool handshakes, but that was shut down. Completely shut down. Like the athletes do when they score, they have these cool like fist bump type stuff. I want to do things like that, but it was shut down.
That was a no.
No, shut down. So like, what do? You don't really get shaking hands.
You just say hello and good morning and goodbye.
But there were some occasions I think that a hug warrants. Like for your wedding coming up. I see you before after your wedding. They give you a hug, congratulations. I think it's okay.
Perfectly fine.
It's okay.
But if you came into work every day and just gave out hugs throughout the office, I think people would think that's a little weird.
They would totally. And some people are comfortable with it, and Yeah, as silly as it sounds, it could be the basis for a hostile work environment. Like we've seen worse.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And speaking of like workplace and etiquette and things like that, all this stuff actually is all spills over into the no surprise to online social media platforms about how you react to maybe certain coworkers or comment on some
Mhm.
coworkers' posts and things like that. Because I've had situations where employees would, if they were accused, say, of uh, race harassment, right? Discrimination on the basis of race, and you see some posts, on their Facebook feed that might indicate that, yeah, you know what, maybe they're a bit of a racist. So like you have to be careful, about what you post and how you respond to coworkers. Like I all my years, I will never friend anybody on Facebook or Instagram or follow anybody who I work with. Just because, like, think about all the times you go through and you're like something, you don't like something, you comment something, and then the last thing you want to do is get involved with maybe a heated, protected discussion that your coworkers become aware of, and maybe see your position on something that has nothing to do with work, but may make people uncomfortable. What do you think about that?
Right. I'm pretty sure when I started, you told me that that was your golden rule.
There's no rule.
Not that I wanted to be social media friends, no
No,
offense,
no,
but
no.
you did say that's always been one of your career rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I just again, I feel like nothing good could happen from that.
You know, I feel like the social media line is very similar to the hugging line,
It is.
where
It is.
you
It
kind of
is.
know which coworkers you're close with, where a hug for a joyous occasion or a
Right.
bad day or something like that
Right.
will be taken, as comfort instead of crossing a line.
Yeah.
And you kind of know which coworkers you should be or can be social media friends with versus not. I think it's also a generational situation too. I think that plays a part in it of, you know, who is social media friends and who isn't.
Right.
I think that's plays an aspect of it, but you do really have to be careful about what you post on your social media and how your coworkers may perceive what you're posting,
Right.
good or bad.
Yeah, right. No question. It really is. And especially in the remote work now, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's how we communicate a lot is online. And yeah, I mean, and we all leave a digital footprint, and it's dangerous sometimes to get in posts or communicate anything online
Mhm.
with coworkers, because you just don't know how what turns out as a joke starts as a joke, may not be so funny. So gotta be really, really careful.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, in the work world, and be careful who you friend or connect with, and just make wise decisions and realize anything that you post.
Right. Have you ever heard the expression never post or send something that you don't want read at a deposition?
No, well, but that makes sense to me. That
Mhm.
makes sense to me. I mean, of course. I mean, that's good legal advice, because once you throw it out there, it's out there, and it could be you'd be amazed at the things that are used. It's just unbelievable, because nowadays the digital footprints that people leave are crazy. Usually,
It will get you in trouble.
yes, usually you can find something.
Absolutely.
That's a little tawdry, or is not in the favor of the employee. So I guess along the lines of things that typically you would think would be okay, a hug, a little like on a Facebook comment, a little congratulations, on a social media, Instagram, whatever it may be, it could get you into trouble. But I draw a line like LinkedIn. I'm all in.
Okay, well, that's a
That's
different
that's
type
a
of
business
social media.
platform. I'll connect with anyone I can, and try to to stay in touch as many people as I can. But Facebook's of the world, thanks to, but like Facebook is not cool anymore, so I understand.
So you've been told.
Yeah, so I've been told, like, my age group is kind of the last to deal with it. I like it though.
Mhm.
So anyway, just gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, because
Well, even on LinkedIn, though, even now more so, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a rise in more posts about political speech and politics and things that are just going on in the world. So even there, you have to be careful about what you're posting. And just think how you're using social media of any form and use it in a smart way.
right, because if what happens sometimes, if you get accused, get say, of like race discrimination, and making this up, and then the plaintiff's lawyer looks around, see if they can say anything they can use on social media, and they see you're belong to this like say a white supremacist organization, right? I mean, these
that's not a good look.
it's not a good look. So these are things that it's incredible, really, what pops up on social media. So just be very careful, about what the social footprint you're creating, because it's there, and you have to be careful with it. So, and because our work line is now blurred, right, between home and remote, it's just that's where a lot of the communication takes place. So just remember, be careful, just like you have to be in the office.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good tip for everyone to think about.
I will. I think it's a good tip too. Sometimes I forget about it, but like, you what? You gotta be careful. I'm really careful. Think twice. Think twice before you post.
Absolutely.
So if it's okay with you, I would like to talk about, it's the time of year, it's spring holidays. I think what we should talk about, because it's come up, is religious accommodation.
Oh,
What do
definitely.
you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Right? Because, what do you do if an employee comes up to you and says, I need to leave early for Shabbat, or I need Good Friday, or I need Easter Sunday, or whatever you celebrate? What's the employer's obligations? What are they supposed to do? Right. So I think that's,
I'm sure everyone is fielding a lot of requests right now.
right. In its simplest form, religious accommodation, analysis is no different than medical or physical accommodation. So, in the physical accommodation world, medical accommodation world, if someone is sick or needs an accommodation or is hurt, there's a process you have to go through, right? They request it. Here's your accommodation request form. You get a medical certification, and the company decides, can you accommodate or not, right? And then you go through that whole process of undue hardship. Not, it's the same thing with the religious accommodation. It's just a little more fuzzy because sometimes there are religions that come up that I didn't even know existed. Sometimes, the people all of a sudden become, religious when I never knew that they were. And you question, well, are they being truthful? Do they really need this day off for religious purposes?
Well, that's a very slippery slope, right, Guy?
Slipperiest. Slipperiest. And you know what? I have a PTSD from COVID on that, right? You and I.
Right.
So like in COVID, if you recall, one of the exemptions was a religious exemption, right? That,
To the COVID vaccine?
the COVID vaccine, right? That you didn't have to take the vaccine if you could prove it was for religious reasons.
Right.
So what would happen is, they would sometimes employees come and say, listen, I'm a believer in this and my religion doesn't allow me to take it. So then what do you do? I mean,
Right.
look, if you it's like, if you can, my view is, if you can, you should. So if they're asking for it, if you can do it, I would do it. If it gets, of course, if it's a situation where you suspect it playing games or things like that, and you feel like you want to challenge it, you could, just like you would a doctor in a medical or physical situation, you could get another religious leader and say, is this real? Do you really not, allow the COVID vaccine? Do you really not, they really have to leave before, 4 o'clock on Fridays, things like that.
Right.
Of course, the last thing in the world you want to do, if possible, is to challenge someone's religious beliefs, because that's even a bigger rabbit hole than challenging whether someone is sick or hurt enough that they need medical accommodation, right? I mean, my gosh, today's world. But we had to do that sometimes in the COVID situation, where like again, these like religions where we didn't even know they existed, and we had to find religious leaders in those religions to see what the employee was saying.
Wow, you're really taking me back to a different time.
Right. Different time, but now it's right back, because it's really the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing.
So where is the line drawn? When can an employer tell an employee, I'm sorry, but we can't do this for you?
No shocker. It's the fuzziest, line in the world about whether you can accommodate or whether you can. It's the same undue hardship analysis that we did when, in the medical situation, for instance, say somebody needs Easter Sunday off. But they are in charge. They are the person of the shipment that always goes out Sunday nights, at 9 p.m. So it could be at the client at, 8 a.m. the next morning.
Right.
They're the only one who has that knowledge of the computer system, so on and so forth. And he or she asks you, hey, I need Easter Sunday off. You got a decision to make. Can you accommodate it? Well, if it gives you enough advance notice, or maybe you can, right? Maybe you could say, okay, we can either hire someone or we can make an accommodation just for that day. So then maybe in that instance, it's not an undue hardship. But if he or she tells you the day before, then maybe it is.
Right. I think a big part of this we have to keep in mind is the interactive process of an accommodation,
Right.
whether it's medical or religious,
Correct.
everyone has to work together.
Right.
Teamwork is what this is all about. If the employee comes to you Saturday morning saying, I need off the next day, and this is the only person who could do this job,
Right.
it's much harder to grant them the accommodation
Right.
versus if the employee came to you a month in advance and gave you notice so that the employer and the employee can work together.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a team effort. The interactive process is there for a reason. And so everyone just has to work together.
Like in the terms of our world or interactive process, a cooperative dialogue, that's what the
Right.
courts want to see that you're doing. But those are just fancy ways of saying, like you said, so they have to work together, figure it out.
Right. Talk to one another.
Talk to one another, figure out, see what you do. And usually you can.
Mhm.
You really don't. It's very, very hard for an employer to say no because of an undue hardship. It really is. I mean, you have to really be pretty absolutely certain. Like there's not another employee on the planet who can deliver those widgets to the client by Monday morning, and if they don't deliver, you're out of business, right? You see a lot, employees with Christmas, Hanukkah, the big holidays, they want to take off, and sometimes they work at airports or things that require hospitals, whatever it may be, 24-hour care. You have issues with that all the time. Employees want to take off, and then you get into what's fair and what's not, and what creates undue hardship and what doesn't. So, bottom line, you don't want to go down that that rabbit hole. Does that mean it's water cooler talk time?
I think so.
And of course, front and center, Samantha's wedding coming up.
My big day's coming up.
It's a federal holiday around here. I don't know if you're noticing that, but it's a federal holiday, and when was it? May 3rd, right?
May 3rd. So
we're excited.
A few more weeks to go.
We're excited for that. We can't wait for that. That's really good. And of course, me being me, I need to have like some involvement. I feel like she wanted to have some of my music input, so I threw some songs her way. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, can you just like maybe
Let me fill those up for everybody.
Yeah, the other night, just give me. I won't feel bad. Either yes, no, maybe so.
Okay. Let's set the scene.
I always say you a lot, so maybe just go through
Let's just do a few because Guy sent over quite a bunch.
I have my finger on the pulse of
I didn't need to hire a DJ. I could have just had Guy.
I have my finger on the pulse of what gets people on the dance floor. So that's what I made my suggestions. Let's hear them.
Okay, so I'll just pick a few because, like I said, the list is plentiful.
Pick a few.
So dancing on my own, Tiesto, by Caleb Scott. It's a very, very, very good song.
Right. I mean,
that will
winner. Right.
That's a good dance mix.
Yeah, I agree. Thank God.
Okay. Something like, okay. This one, definite no. I'm so sorry. Can't Stop the Feeling, the DreamWorks animation soundtrack from the Trolls movie. That's like right below Happy, which is the worst song in the world.
Okay. Fine.
So I'm sorry, but that's
okay. It's okay.
September by Earth, Wind and Fire is a Long Island must.
I
feel like that's a must play.
Even in your age demographic, you guys love to rock to that song.
That's such a great song.
Right. You never
Every
know,
wedding has
you
that
never
song.
know, my age group, your age group, what the views of the songs are on. So I tried to stay away from ones that I thought were a little bit too. No, that's cool.
Right. Well, you have to think about all of your guests.
Always.
And, we'll see a lot of dance music from the 70s, the 80s, and then all the way through to modern.
Love it.
Dancing Queen, the ABBA remix.
Oh, so good.
So good.
So good, right.
We love that song.
How about Sweet Caroline?
That's I think that's a no. I think that's a no. Sweet Caroline, definitely not.
That's the end of the song, arms around each other, going home feeling good. You don't like it?
It's a no for me, and then my fiance Stefan, it's a no for him because he says that that's the Red Sox song, and he's a big Yankees fan. So to me, that all means nothing. I just don't.
You know what? I respect that because I'm a Yankees fan too. So I respect it, but I gotta say, I don't link Sweet Caroline with the Red Sox. I think they kind of took it afterwards. You know what I mean? So listen, I respect where it's come from. It's your day.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointed. So
you respect it, but you're disappointed. Right. That's okay. I think we can all live with that.
One more. Let's go one more.
Oh, one more?
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Pick Me Up, Buttercup. Love that song.
Do you mean Build Me Up, Buttercup?
That one, same
okay. One. Pick Me Up, Buttercup. That's also going to be a no.
What?
How do people dance to Build Me Up, Buttercup?
I'll show you. I'm showing you. I have some really good coordinated dancers.
Maybe that's a cocktail hour background music, or the
cheery,
dinner part of the evening could
Maybe
Could play that song in the background, but I don't think it's a dance
maybe,
or
maybe it should be Etiquette song.
to build me a buttercup. Yeah, Steph and I will do some funny like prom moves to that
Yeah,
song.
I love that song. I love that song.
I think that's gonna be a no.
Okay. All
I
right.
hope that didn't hurt your feelings.
Can I ask you about one more, then we can you move on with it?
Sure.
Shut Up and Dance. That's got to be.
You know, that's a maybe. That is definitely a good song.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know how where it will fall on the list.
That's
It might get cut, it might be there.
all right. So as long as I was.
That's a good song. I like that song.
Okay.
It's a fun song.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. All right, look, I'm glad you seem to be on course and and ready to go. And boy, it is getting down to showtime here.
Oh yeah.
So just one more thing, and then we'll move on. And till our next broadcast. But okay, wedding's over. Things calm down. You enjoy the high from it, and the pictures and the family. And what are you doing in the spring? What any like thing you're really looking forward to doing?
Okay, well, I can't wait to have my time back. I don't think people realize like how much time it takes to plan a wedding and
I've been listening. I've been listening to this for a year and a half. It's crazy.
yeah, so it's a lot of work, so I just can't wait to relax.
Okay.
Looking into spring, I'm excited to get our boat back into the water and
Right.
do all of those adventures. We like to spend a lot of time on Fire Island in the spring and the summer.
The best.
So we're looking forward to that, and that's very relaxing. So I can't wait to do that.
So nice.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
So to me, it's always complicated. So
You say I'm complicated, but it's usually you.
usually. So my thing is, I'm a big pickleball guy. We know that.
Mhm.
But one of my things with pickleball is afraid of getting hurt. So many people, right? My age are just tearing this, pulling that. So I play. I want to play, but I just want to be careful. So what I did in order to be careful, reduce the chance of me getting hurt, is I took up spinning on the stationary bike, like cycle bar.
Oh, great, which you love.
I love Soul Cycle. I was doing so good, thinking, how can I hurt myself? It's a stationary bike. I'm good. Play a little pickleball between, stationary bike, keep in shape, leave it to me. Golf elbow, tennis elbow, and like a strained ulnar nerve from like doing too many
Only you.
push-ups. Only me. I've been out for like 4 months already. I can't take care of it. I've had like cortisone shots of everything just for like on a stationary bike. Like, really? I mean, see,
That's
so I guess the moral of the story is just do what you want to do. Because you're gonna get hurt,
right. So you should have just stuck to pickleball.
Well, yeah, okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to what I like. But
Are you feeling good to get back out on the
I'm
court?
feeling better. I'm feeling better. But I will say, because I know a lot of people kind of make fun of the whole golf elbow, tennis elbow diagnosis. But the name should be changed. They're very painful injuries. They are. I told you, it's very, very painful. I have new respect for people who've had these injuries. Like, I just always think golf elbow. Okay, what do? You put some ice on and you go back there the next day. Not the case. I'm just telling you, it's not the case. But I'm back. I'm back.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm ready to go.
We'll see you on the pickleball court.
You will, and I have to make sure I'm in good shape for your wedding. So very excited for that. Very excited.
Yes.
Very excited for the nice weather. Very excited to come to everybody. Video.
I know. I hope everyone likes our first
If
video.
anyone has a song that they want to add to the play at the wedding, or that they think would be a fun song, send it in. If we use it, we will give you a limited edition Employment Huddle premiere video podcast t-shirt.
Oh, I like that.
We use it.
Yeah, I'll take any recommendation.
Yeah. So send them in. I'll try to get a little content out at your weddings, just a little. Your approval, and I'll just make sure when my song.
Do I get producing rights?
Correct. When my song comes out and everyone's on the dance floor, I'm gonna take
To pick me up, Buttercup.
whatever it is, whatever I recommended. It's dance floor is packed. Happy guy.
Perfect. That sounds great.
All right. So listen, we'll come back probably really soon. Certainly, if anything breaks, we're on it. And right after your wedding, we'll come back and we'll report. So have the best wedding. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's so fun to be out and see everybody on video. And we'll keep going. Look for us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all your social media platforms. We're gonna be around. So look forward to seeing and interacting with you, and see you guys soon.
Take care.